Hi, Rach.
Hello, Kristen. Oh, hello.
We haven't even opened the
Kristen.
Alanis that we were going to have. I'm not even sure we need them at this point.
I mean, I think we always need an Alani because
I know.
we become a little more unhinged.
The first episode we recorded today, guys, was absolute
Deep and wide.
debauchery.
It was good. It was a good one.
It was a good one.
It was vibing.
Today on Two Mystic Mamas.
Today on the Two Mystic Mamas show,
We will be talking about the Crown Chakra.
it's the end. Or is it the top in the beginning? But it is for our chakra series.
It is the end of the physical
wrapping
body.
it up.
So it's located at the crown of your head.
For anyone listening,
It was like
she just tickled her top of her head.
my tippy top. And this is our source of connection to not only our higher selves, but the connection to the divine.
To the divine. It is typically, symbolically, you would envision a flower. A lotus flower is usually the ones that are used a lot just because that's the flower that's used in a lot of art depictions that have to do with the chakras as well. I always like to have an Asiatic lily because it's my favorite. But you can basically put any flower and envision it at the top of your head, sitting on top of your head, enclosed, completely, closed off. And then as you bring down divine source energy from heaven, then that source is what opens the flower up to receiving the energy and subsequently then unblocking and unlocking and
Pop, lock, and dropping.
pop, lock, and drop it, the flow of energy into your being and subsequently to the other chakras.
And just a reminder to feel free to insert words that work for you. If the word heaven does not resonate with you, then, using universe, source, whatever feels good for you to insert there. We are receiving this energy from universal energy, from our spirit guides, from the cosmos, if you will.
Well, the cosmos, I think, yeah. I mean, it can extend above what, most folks can relate to where heaven is located. You can even go way above that and out into the universe.
So let's welcome everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Almost forgot. Welcome to Two Mystic Mamas. I mean, listen, the Crown Chakra is a good space for me.
Did a distance Reiki session for a client yesterday, and her higher realms were a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like a whole vibe. She was having like this whole just like dance party. One of my favorite movies to relate to this would be Coco, because they talk a lot about crossing over into the spirit world. And this particular client's crown chakra and third eye were basically like scenes from that movie where they were having like the dance scenes.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that guy that was like the star, but he was like,
Are you going to start singing Remember Me?
No, because that song's like, that's not the vibe. But anyways, it was like colorful and like there was a spirit dragon, cat dragon, half cat, half dragon as well. It was, it was great. So back to the crown chakra, back to the actual topic of what we're talking about. It's also associated with the most common chanting sound.
Oh.
Not to be confused with ham.
Spam.
Oh, what a great episode.
I know. Also, the third eye can also be associated with the sound of Om. And sometimes the crown chakra can also be associated with silence.
If you're trying to tap in to the crown or the third eye, silence is like a key requirement for sure.
Right.
Being still and quieting the noise from what we would consider this three-dimensional plane where we exist.
Right. Well, I mean, Eastern yogis really used the chakras as a place of ascension to try and get to enlightenment or nirvana. And then Westerners came in and were like, hey, we can use this in our physical body, because that's what we're all about, is the physical body over here. And so I like to take a nice blend of the two. And
you got to. You got to. You got to blend.
Right. And it's associated with one of my favorite colors, which is violet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this isn't like new age. Like, this is ancient wisdom. This is wisdom that had been passed down from generation to generation. This wasn't something that, just came out of thin air back in the 90s. So there's a lot of books. There's a lot of mentors. There's a lot of research that has been done in this. And there's plenty of resources that can be at your fingertips if this is your first. What is a chakra? What are you talking about?
This is a very good book.
Oh, yeah. We both have that book.
We both have this book. We did not plan to both own this book, but
but
here we are.
We never plan, and we're always in sync, which is actually just like the other chakras. You can have an overactive or an underactive, or you can have a balanced crown chakra. And when your crown chakra is balanced, synchronicities happen often.
Right. Well, and the other thing with the crown chakra is, and again, this kind of goes back to Eastern ancient wisdom and Buddhism as well, is attachment. So the blockage a lot of times with the crown chakra comes with attachment to the physical life, the physical being. It can also be attachment to thoughts, ideals, instead of allowing ourselves to just be completely open to the universe and understand that we are at a place of surrender in all things with the universe.
Yeah, if you're feeling disconnected and lost in your life, like you don't know your purpose, or you're questioning the day-to-day activities, you just feel that sense of unease or worry, your crown chakra might be out of balance. And if you're super cynical and negative, again, this all like plays back into what we choose to embody in our day-to-day. And some things are affected by things that we can't control when we were younger. But then when you come to a place of awareness, that's when you can start shifting and making choices. Or you can just stay in that cycle of all the things because that's what you know, and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to change.
Well, right. For some people, it's more comfortable to stay in that place than make the change. But to your point, if you're feeling a lot of these things, or you have a lot of excess overactive energy in the crown chakra, this can lead to a lot of frustration. Mm-hmm. And people see a lot of migraines that deal with this too. And I would even say, like, if you're really in that space looking for a Reiki practitioner, a healer, to just kind of help you move some of that energy around would be super beneficial. Yep. Because on the other side of that, an underactive chakra is like a lack of joy, a lack of happiness, a lack of purpose, right?
Yeah, call your girl. I'll help you out. Distance Reiki is my thing. And how you can work with that though, too. Like, it's great to have healers in your circle that you can call on, because sometimes life just is overwhelming. And it's not that you're not capable of knowing the answers yourself. It's just we need support from time to time too. We are human. And when you also recognize that asking for help and reaching into your circle for that support is really important. And I encourage you, if you haven't done that, look for a couple areas where you can let go of the control and you can ask someone for support and help, because that's a way of also trusting the process and how the universe unfolds to let opportunities come in and for you to let go of what isn't serving you for your greatest and highest good. So now, if you're ready to get started and you feel confident in doing the work, a great place to start working with your crown chakra is in meditation.
100%.
Is in stillness. And a lot of people, I hear this all the time, I can't meditate. And it takes work. Some people are gifted at it and can just go right into meditation. Most people have a hard time quieting
Right.
their brain and not like thinking.
And it takes practice.
It takes consistent practice.
I could tune you both out and sit here and be like, whoop, I got this. Right. But it takes practice of doing that repeatedly. And if you feel like you can't meditate, just start taking 3 breaths. When you feel overwhelmed, just take 3 breaths, close your eyes, open them again. You have done something towards taking a step in resetting your nervous system. And meditation is so good for understanding and uncovering the root causes of our imbalances and realizing destructive behavior. Because that's really what it is.
Yes.
It's not who you are. It's the behavior that you are participating in that is continuing to cause you harm, take your energy, cause you unhappiness. Like fundamentally, that's not who you are at your root.
Your soul.
Right.
Another place that I really took advantage of to quiet my mind and learn how to meditate in a real way was to meditate while I was doing a task. So folding laundry, washing the dishes, because those are like more of like extended periods of time where I could just like be doing the dishes, but I was able to allow my brain to like go into a place of stillness and like tune the kids out, tune the music out, and just wash the dishes and just receive. A lot of times you can do this also if you get out in nature and you sit on a park bench.
Or walking meditations are my favorite. Walking meditations.
I mean, there's so many resources. Staring at the ocean, the night sky.
Taking a shower.
Oh, yes.
Such a good spot for meditation.
Sometimes like I can get real anxious in the shower. So I have to.
That's because a lot comes to you in the shower.
Yes. It's because of the water. It's that whole concept of like, we are water. We're using water. It brings us down into a place of not but like it brings us to a calm place. That's why people take baths to relax, right?
Some things that you can use, obviously we talk about this with all the chakras, but crystals are a big one that you can use to help you balance your chakra. Whether you are carrying a crystal with you in your pocket or you are laying down and meditating and you're placing a crystal on that energy center, I have one for display. I wouldn't necessarily recommend putting this on your crown chakra.
Here's your PSA.
Don't put this on your crown chakra.
The size of...
No.
Don't.
You want something much smaller, perhaps less jagged.
For those of you who are listening and can't see it, it's a giant amethyst geode that's probably bigger than the palms of our hands.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, dear Lord. It's all happening. No.
It's all good.
It's all good.
This crystal is really good for not only opening up the crown chakra, but really realizing those destructive behaviors. Some people call this the sober stone. So when people are struggling with addiction, they'll actually put it next to their bed, carry it with them in their pocket, things like that. And then clear quartz obviously is great for amplifying the energy of anything that you are working with and just kind of bringing that spiritual awareness and expanding your consciousness to the energy that you're working with at the time or the chakra.
I love to carry crystals in my pockets. I buy crystals as often as I can. I actually have to go to our local place because I'm buying some towers to help with the energy cleansing part of my business, because towers are really great at directing and like channeling energy as opposed to like...
Oh, actually hold up the log.
Yeah.
Because
so this is a selenite.
Talk about selenite.
Yeah. So this is a selenite, piece of selenite. This is a giant piece. Also, don't put this on your crown chakra.
You know what my goal is with those? I have 2 of those logs. My goal is to have enough selenite logs to put them in my fireplace.
Yes.
And it looks like they're logs stacked up.
Yeah. That is a cool idea.
That'd be cool.
Selenite is one of the cooler crystals. It's water soluble, so you cannot let water touch it. It will dissolve. But it
does take a lot of water to dissolve, but yeah.
But as opposed to like...
Yeah, don't wash your selenite.
Which is a valid thing. If you're like, why the fuck would I wash? You do have to cleanse crystals from time to time because they absorb energy, and you can cleanse them in a bunch of different ways, but it doesn't just have to be water, but that's one of the more common ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't do that with selenite.
Well, selenite is really good for opening and activating the crown chakra, and it really cleanses your auric field, if you will, and clears out blocked energy.
If you're like, what crystals should I get? And you've never bought crystals, this would be one of the top 5 that I would buy.
We have 2 of the top 5 here.
Yeah, definitely amethyst
selenite,
and quartz. Yeah, quartz is just an incredible crystal, and it's usually not super expensive.
Right.
It's very affordable,
easy to access.
It's very important to have that in your crystal arsenal.
Before we hopped on here, we watched a video online of an Easter service that was in South Korea, and this Jesus they had on
this Jesus
the
Jesus
they had him on a crane.
Hold on,
it was supposed to,
but not any crane. They had him on,
y'all, he was over the skyscrapers.
Yeah, they had him on one of those massive cranes that they use to build skyscrapers. So in my brain,
really tapping into his crown chakra.
Yeah,
elevating.
I mean, he was
higher consciousness.
It made me terrified. My hands
so
got
crazy.
Very.
Jesus out there,
yeah,
hanging over the
He's
city like fucking Batman
right now. I was like, how is he doing that? Is he really going? Like, is he ascending into heaven? Like, what is happening? Because I didn't know that he wasn't on like a normal crane. So he just kept going. All right. The other thing to mention, I know the crown chakra sounds like a good time, and it is. It is a good time. You can't just live in your crown chakra. Okay, people? Like, you can't just live. You got to work with all of the chakras. So I encourage you to go back and listen to the chakra series. Now that this episode's out, it's complete. So you can go and listen from the root all the way up to the crown. You can learn about how to work with your individual chakras, but also how they work together.
Well, we talked about this in the last episode, which is that there is a theory amongst practitioners that healing from the root up is a method of actually unlocking, because you can do work on each of your energy centers and each of your chakras, but if you're not actually healing them in order, it kind of blocks them.
It does.
They hit a ceiling.
Yes.
Where you like can't really go any further until
It was an interesting experience I had.
It's like Tetris when you get to the top.
Yeah. Well, think about it like building a bridge between them, right? And the bridges are made of Legos, right? And sometimes the Legos break and sometimes they fall away. And so when I was doing the session for my client the other day, I was in her sacral chakra, and her sacral chakra was like a 70s vibe. It wasn't bright orange. It was like this deep maroon, almost like a lava lamp kind of thing. Like it was open, and it was like really just, it was good. It was good. And then I started to move into her root chakra, and her root chakra was playing that song by the Bloodhound Gang. The roof is on fire. But it was like, it was a house party, and instead of roof, it was saying root. And she was like, I'm good. I don't need you. See you later. And I was like, oh, honey. And it was the first time that I really experienced the fact that like our chakras are unique to us. They're unique to us as individuals. So even though everyone has them, they have a different vibe and personality. Like she was vibrating, but she was tiny. She wasn't like a super large chakra, but she was strong. And she was like, step off. Like, I don't need you. No. And I had to like talk to her telepathically where I was like, no, I'm here to help. And then it became evident that the sacral and the root were not even fucking connected. So then I had to help bridge this between them where I was like, you guys work better together. Can you operate separately? Sure. Is that the best course of action? No. Now, this is more advanced energy work. Naturally, I'm not expecting our listeners to be like, oh, my personality of this chakra and blah, blah, blah. But if you were to go see a Reiki practitioner, this is something that they could deliver to you and some of that. And it was just interesting to talk or to experience it where I had to help build that bridge back between those two chakras. And it very much was like I don't want to say an easy task to do, but once I was like, you guys have to work together and they recognized it, it was like, good job.
Well, I think that's something important to point out when you're working with energy work, whether you're going to a practitioner or you're working on your own. While it is not easy work, it can be simple.
Oh,
it can be as simple as just recognizing it, having awareness for what's actually happening in both your physical and spiritual space, and then connecting, or releasing, calming, soothing. You know, you've got to listen to the chakras. You have to listen to your energy centers and see what you need.
Yes, and it's something you build upon. Right? Like you don't have to go. It's again, I'm going to use Lego for whatever reason. That's what's coming up for me today. But
block blast.
if you look at one of those Lego sets, like the Home Alone house, that's going to take you hours to build, maybe days, as opposed to like one of those little tiny ones. Right. And it's like that. You want to build it in pieces because you lay the foundation to recognize that you want to start exploring this part of yourself, and then you start building on it incrementally. Like we didn't show up here doing this episode without having
the other 6.
The foundation for it. Yeah, well, just Lego it out, babe.
I know we talk about this in personal growth, but your inner dialogue matters a lot. And especially when you're working in your crown chakra, what you are saying to yourself, whether you are using affirmations or you're not using affirmations, or you are being hard on yourself and you're putting that energy out there, it really does matter. And so I would start to think about, what is your thought system, right? What thought are you thinking? What feeling is it then creating in your life? And from the feeling, what actions are coming from that? If that's a negative creation cycle that you're creating, you're not going to be able to work within the chakras that you want to work in and cultivate any change at all. But if you can start to identify, okay, this is my thought, this is the feeling that's created from that thought, and then I'm taking action in a new way, right? We can retrain our brains. Neuroplasticity is on your side, guys. You can retrain your brain, though, to work within those energy fields and be like, okay, this is an affirmation or a sentence that I say every single day that's helping me move in that direction.
Yep. And I encourage you to write it on a Post-it or write it on a note card and put it somewhere that you're going to see it all the time. And if like some of this stuff is happening more at work than it is at home, then put it on your desk, put it on your computer. So it reminds you that like this experience you're having is just that. It's this 3-dimensional experience, and it's not connected to your higher self or your higher consciousness, and that you have the ability to change, and you have the ability to make movement, positive movement in a different direction.
And if you find that you are the kind of person that is finger pointing the other people in your life a lot, like you're like, no, this is because of this person I work with, or this is because of my spouse, or this is because of this, I would implore you to make your sentence, your statement, your affirmation something about seeing divine light in everyone, because it is there. And it's what we choose to see in the world that is going to then exponentially unfold in our own life.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yippee, yippee, yippee.
I love a good affirmation. You know that.
I think affirmations, I don't use them as much as I would like. That's like a growth place for me.
I write one every day.
I know you're very good with them.
It's a very integral and important part of my like setup for my day.
Yeah.
And I can feel the difference.
Yeah.
If I don't, like if I have a morning where I don't do my normal like journaling and go through all my steps, even if it's for 5 minutes, I definitely can feel the energy of my day shift.
Yeah, for sure.
And whether or not I'm like locked in up here. And as somebody who so easily goes to her crown and third eye spaces, like it's easy for me to connect to that source and live in that like, you know, special woo-woo aura land. I have to like put myself there. In a good space.
Yeah. Yeah. The crown is, highly, highly important. And I love that we're ending on it, even though it's really where a lot of people will start,
Right.
Their journey. So, all right. Did you pull cards?
No, I actually have these really wonderful cards. If you are just getting into the chakras, these are called chakra cards.
Oh, that's cool.
And they give you all sorts of information about how to work with chakras, yoga poses, affirmations, all the information
cool.
that you might want to help balance your chakras and work with them.
I love that.
Yeah. So there's like this many cards for just a crown. So
yeah,
there's 100 cards in total.
Nice. Very cool.
This was a Mother's Day gift from Evie.
Aw.
I know.
That's a very good gift.
You feel called to pull a card?
I did pull a card. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an interesting one. I pulled it from the Angels and Ancestor deck from Kyle Gray, but it's the Warrior. Be fearless and stand strong. And I think the message here is just, you are the warrior. You have this within you, and you have to, kind of go into battle for yourself a little bit, right? So naturally this is you in the card, and it's very tribal, right? It brings about a lot of that tribal energy that when you think about the war paint or the feather or the stake, or just this card in general, is like very much of more of a, which is an interesting thing because it's more of like a masculine energy, but also it possesses within the crown. I always think crown's more feminine, but it's probably a blend of both because they run down the center. So they blend both masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
But I think it's just that. I think it's just you need to not exist in a world where it's so easy to be overcome by fear, which is an acronym. At least for me, it is, which is false evidence appearing real. It's a construct. It doesn't actually exist. We allow it to exist in our brains and in our minds because we're human, but you're capable.
Yeah. I mean, that the warrior speaks to me too in the way of the crown chakra is where our limiting beliefs live and exist. And it's up to us and how we're going to allow them to play a role in our lives.
Right. Yeah. Stand strong.
All right, guys. This has been such a fun series. I love it so much.
I love a good series.
Chakras.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not like a one and done thing, guys. You don't just like, oh, I had Reiki or I did a meditation for my crown chakra and I'm all good.
Mm-hmm.
That's like going to therapy one time and being like, I'm healed.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
No. You got to oil those suckers. You got to
get oiled up, guys.
That's right. Got to get greased up.
Yep. Got to get real greasy. You got to lubricate your chakras, if you will.
That's right. Your Legos.
Lubricate your Legos, guys. New merch coming soon.
Oh, bless.
There's never not a time where it's going to come to this, is there?
No, I don't think so.
That's part of the charm.
It is.
Yeah.
It's our gift. It's our gift to you.
And our curse.
All right.
Should we end on an ohm? Let's end on an ohm. Ready? All right.
All joking aside, when you really get into ohms, they're fucking magical. Everyone makes fun of ohms, but whew, you get into that, that's where the magic starts to happen.
All right, guys, thank you for being here with us. Catch up on Catch up.
Catch up on your hot dog. Also on our Patreon. Hey now.
Catch up with us on our social media pages: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook,
and newly LinkedIn. Hey now.
Da-da-da.
Professionals are where it's at.
Yep. We're going to put our Lubricate Your Legos merch right on LinkedIn.
It's going to go over like a fucking lead balloon.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.